Hello everyone, welcome to the MOOC lecture series, an initiative taken by LJ Institute of Pharmacy. Myself, Ms. Tosha Pandya, Assistant Professor, Department of Pharmaceutical Technology, will be taking a session on liquid dosage forms introduction. So let's begin with the session. So first of all, as you all know, you have two different dosage forms which are available in market. One is a solid dosage form and other is a liquid dosage form. Solid dosage forms, in that you have tablets, you have capsules and many more. Okay, but what disadvantage you face with a solid dosage form? Of course, it is difficult to consume. Even the elder patients, if we tell that you need to take a tablet for this disease, they will be resistant to take tablet because it is difficult to swallow and it is less acceptable by majority of the group. So these disadvantages are overcome by the liquid dosage form. So let us see the advantages of the liquid dosage form. So the first advantage is the patient compliance. As I discussed that because of the less palatability of the solid dosage form, most of the age group, even the elders, prefer syrups over tablets. So majority is the patient compliance. Next, related to it is the rapid and high drug absorption, which is the very good advantage. The solid dosage form needs to be broken down in the body in order to be absorbed. First, it has to go into solution form for it to be absorbed, but here it is already in the liquid dosage form. So it is having high absorption capacity and high bioavailability. Next is the palatability. So it is easily palatable because of the sweet agents which are added and the flavoring agents added in the liquid dosage form. And the major advantage is that it is best suited for the pediatrics and the geriatrics because they have difficulty to swallow. Even the bedridden patients who cannot swallow tablets, they can easily take up the liquid dosage form. But along with the advantages, this dosage form also faces some of the disadvantages, like it has shorter half-life. As we know that the solid dosage form is more stable than the liquid dosage form. So the major disadvantage is its short life and also the stability. As we know that most of the microbes are prone to grow in the water. So because water is a major solvent in this dosage form, it has less stability. Next is less accuracy because it is in liquid form, and in that you can also say it is difficult to measure the dose because it is taken as you must have experienced that you do not take the exact dose of the syrup. Okay, you take accordingly. If you have cough or cold, you will take as suited as it is soothing to your respiratory tract. So the dose is not accurate. It may lead to serious side effects also. Okay, so now let us see the classification. So this is the classification of the liquid dosage form. As you can see here, you have the monophasic dosage form and you have the polyphasic dosage form. Monophasic means it is homogeneous in nature. It is everything is in the one phase. So the different monophasic dosage form, it can be in aqueous form or it can be in non-aqueous form. Okay, and polyphasic, as the name suggests, polyphase means you have different phases which are there and they are kept together in one phase by different agents used. So these are majority, they are colloids like the suspensions and the emulsions. Okay, the suspensions in which you have solid dispersed in liquid phase and the emulsions in which you have liquid dispersed in the liquid phase. So now let us see different routes of administration of the liquid dosage form. They can be given by different routes like oral route, as you take the syrups, suspension, emulsions. It can be taken by topical route. Okay, you have different suspension. Cream is a type of emulsion which can be taken, suspension or emulsion which is applied topically. Then you have the parenteral route. They can also be given by different routes like subcutaneous, intramuscular or intravenous. Okay, so different routes of administration and different dosage form administered are topically. You have lotions or suspensions, nasal drops, ear drops or eye solutions. Orally you have oral suspension, emulsions or solutions or syrups. Parenterally they can be given subcutaneously, intramuscularly or intravenously. So now additives. What are additives? Along with the API, you require different additives to make a complete dosage form. So let us see why you require additives in the liquid dosage form. So these are the different reasons you require the additives. Okay, first of all, for solubilizing the API, the drug can be soluble in aqueous medium or in the non-aqueous medium. Depending on it, you require the solubilizing agent for making it homogeneous. Okay, to mask the taste, some of the drugs are bitter in nature, so you require to mask the taste of that drug. So you require the taste masking agents. For dose uniformity, you require different agents which will provide a uniform dose throughout. Okay, and to protect from microbes, you require different preservatives to be added. Then to make a stable preparations, to maintain pH, you require antioxidants which will prevent the oxidation of the drug and different agents, and to improve the organoleptic properties to make it acceptable to consumers, like different coloring agents or the flavoring agents. So now let us see the different additives in detail. So this is the list of the different additives which are used. First is vehicles, then you have co-solvents, you have flavoring and sweetening agents, you have the buffering agent, you have the preservatives, the coloring agent, suspending and emulsifying agent, and the stabilizing agent. So we'll see the examples of each one in detail. So first, important additive, or you can say it is not an additive, it is a major bulk of the formulation, is the vehicle or the solvent, okay, which constitutes the bulk. So most of the times the vehicle which is used is purified water, and in some cases due to the solubility of the drug it may be oil or any other non-aqueous medium. Then you require different co-solvents. What is a co-solvent? It is co-solvent means along with the solvent you require another solvent which will increase the solubilizing capacity of the primary solvent, and it will make the drug soluble. Okay, so different co-solvents which are used are the propylene glycol, glycerol, ethanol, and different surfactants. The sweetening agents, as I told, in order to mask the taste of our bitter API, you require different sweetening agents which will make the liquid dosage form palatable to different age groups. So different sweetening agents used are glucose, saccharin, aspartame. Some are natural, some are artificial sweeteners which are used. So depending, now all these agents should be within the IIG limit, that is inactive ingredient limit, and all should be approved by the FDA. Okay. So different flavoring agents which are used are the peppermint oil, you can also use orange oil, you can use rose flavor, strawberry flavor. Depending on the approval, you will use different flavoring agents in the different dosage forms. Now preservatives. So preservatives mainly used for protecting the dosage form from microbial attack. Different preservatives used are chloroform, benzoic acid. Okay, apart from this you have number of preservatives used which should be used within their IIG limits. Then the buffering agents are mainly used for pH regulations. Okay, many drugs are stable only within a narrow pH range, and therefore for maintaining that you require buffering agents which will maintain the pH within that range. Okay, then the suspending and emulsifying agents. So these are the agents which are mainly used in the polyphasic dosage forms, like the suspension and emulsions. It will make the suspension and emulsion stable by maintaining it in a one phase. Okay, then stabilizing agents like antioxidants, like ascorbic acid, citric acid, the combination of it is mainly used to prevent the oxidation of the dosage form. And different coloring agents which are used, again they can be of natural origin or artificial, like the cochineal, saffron, etc., depending on the color you want to give to your formulation. So these are different additives, and this is a general picture of the liquid dosage form given to you. We will discuss in detail the monophasic dosage form and the polyphasic dosage form in our next session. So I hope the session was clear to you. Thank you very much. Do like, share and subscribe our YouTube channel Pharma Ignite. Thank you.
Please do like, share, and subscribe our YouTube channel Pharma Ignite, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the regular notifications so that you do not miss out any of the topics in this chapter. Thank you.